in Mexico City.
After Andretti and Porsche's dominance in the first 3 races of the season,
Pascal Wehrlein does the double in Diriyah.
a trio of new tracks has levelled the Formula E field,
Here comes Cassidy for the lead.
bringing new players into the championship fight.
Da Costa with a farcical move. Bernd wins in Hyderabad.
Pascal Wehrlein is still the man to beat as we approach the halfway point of the season, and this time the German has home advantage. We are back in Berlin for round 7 and 8. It's a double-header weekend, which means there's double points on offer. It could turn the championship on its head.
This is the only city to have featured in every single season of Formula E to date. And this vibrant German capital provides the perfect backdrop for an all-electric showdown.
Just a stone's throw away from these city streets is the iconic Templehof Airport, a unique circuit which in the past has given us some absolutely iconic racing moments. You do not want to miss a beat.
All 5 laps are on, and we're going to bring it to Wehrlein to the inside. And now he's finished. You could not have predicted it. It might be the closest finish in Formula E history. And the crack is going for the lead. Da Costa wins in Berlin.
Hello everyone and welcome. We are live. This is round 7 of the ABB FIA Formula E World Championship. We are coming to you from Berlin, the German capital, and the atmosphere is building. We have a sold-out event. The fans are filling the seats as we speak, and the championship at the top of the table, it's tight. It's going to be an epic race, and I'm joined by 2 absolute iconic mavericks of the game. Karun Chandok, former Formula 1 and Formula E driver. Oliver Askew, former Andretti FE driver. Gentlemen, the sun is out, it's beating down. We are in for a great weekend of racing.
I've never been called an iconic maverick before, but yeah, I'll take it. No, listen, it's great.
You can take it as long as you give it back.
You're all right.
All right, thank you.
No, listen, it's lovely to be here. Fantastic weather, crowd coming in, and a cracking grid for the race today. You know, we've got all the heavy hitters, or a lot of the heavy hitters, up at the sharp end.
Yeah, absolutely. It's tight at the top of the championship, Oliver. Pascal Wehrlein, the German in the Porsche car, is still sat up there, but his last few races not done too well.
No, and there's only 38 points now separating first and 5th place in the championship. Jaguar has obviously striked first with two Jaguar-powered cars on the front row with an Envision and a Jaguar TCS. I think it's all to play for today. There's 58 points available to maximize your opportunity here this weekend between both races. I think we're in for an exciting day.
Karun, we just finished racing on 3 brand new tracks, Sao Paulo, Cape Town and Hyderabad, but we're back at a racetrack that we know really, really well. In fact, 50% of the grid, I would say, love this circuit, 50% absolutely despise it. Why?
Well, I think it's one of those circuits, because of the unique surface you can see behind us here. You know, it's not asphalt. This is the old concrete with different stones, and it seems to suit certain cars and certain setups better than others. But what's different, of course, this year is we've got a brand new car and a brand new tire with the Hancocks. And all of a sudden, Jaguar, who've historically really struggled around here, have got a car on the front row. Mitch Evans also in the fight, thereabouts. Their other powertrain sister car on pole position. So yeah, I think the historical form has sort of gone away a bit this year.
Oliver, as a driver, is it a physical circuit?
No, but it's a long race. In Formula E, it's not so much the physicality, it's the mental physicality. There's so much going on in the car. There's so much to think about. The garage is sending you information constantly. It's a complete chess match out there. We saw in Brazil a massive fight for the top. I think we're going to see something similar today.
Yeah, let's talk about Mitch Evans, the winner in Sao Paulo, after a huge incident in Hyderabad with Sam Bird and Mitch Evans. We got them to sit down and talk about what happened.
The checker flag falls. Evans wins in Sao Paulo.
My season so far has been a case of what ifs and maybes, could haves.
And Hughes is still
He's
defending.
out of energy.
He's out of energy.
Guys, how's this gone so wrong? There's been a lot of potential. Jaguar have given us a great car. I haven't delivered on all occasions.
We knew we had a lot of promise, but clearly a challenging start for everybody.
Drive shaft's gone, drive shaft's gone.
Before, during and after Mexico, I was concerned that our car was fragile. I was worried about reliability.
In terms of results, it's been disappointing. I can see that starting to change.
Mitch Evans is on pole position for Jaguar.
I think Hyderabad was the first time we could actually see the true performance over one lap. It was starting to click, and I was starting to feel, really comfortable in the car.
First pole position of the Gen 3 era in front of many important stakeholders was actually a really, really proud moment. Clearly what happened in the race is something you don't want to happen.
We don't talk about Hyderabad. The first rule about Hyderabad is we don't talk about Hyderabad.
Third is Evans. Wait, Sam Bird! Super teammate! The two Jaguars collide!
I genuinely think that's the lowest I've felt in motorsport. And for my mistake to basically destroy our chances of getting any kind of result there was a real low.
Mega. Mega.
I was pretty angry, to put it politely.
Oh guys, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Just on the dust.
A few swear words and curses, but it was a first experience for us as a team, and one that I don't want to revisit. But look, a lot of lessons learned, and hopefully we don't see that again.
About an hour after the race finished, he put his arm around me and said, "Come on, it's fine." That was kind of the moment for me where I knew that things were going to be okay.
Yes, we were super disappointed, but we didn't let it divide us. If anything, people have said to me afterwards, outside of the team, that actually you look stronger than ever as a result of that.
And we go green in Sao Paulo. And here comes Bird.
Come on! Yeah, baby!
I had to start 10th on the grid, so to climb up to 3rd, get fastest lap, be there right with the leaders at the end was great.
Magnificent race, magnificent win for Jaguar. They've had a tough start to the season, but they're very much back on the top.
It was an important win, and obviously a special one, having all Jaguar powertrains on the podium, and a double podium for the team.
You could see the pride and the happiness on every single person's face in the garage.
I'm still going for the championship for sure, and I think it's definitely possible.
I feel like I'm long overdue a really good result.
I do think we're championship contenders. Anything can happen, and our job is to make sure we're in the position to fight for race wins every weekend.
Career victories at Templehof. As the COVID pandemic put a halt to Season 6, we witnessed an epic 9 days with 6 races in Berlin to decide the fate of the championship. Heading into it, DS Techeetah's Antonio Felix da Costa led the way, with a host of drivers ready to mount a title charge. However, da Costa proved to be too strong in the German capital.
Yahoo! Antonio Felix da Costa wins again.
2 in a row, guys. Amazing.
Back-to-back victories meant the Portuguese driver had one hand on the trophy with 4 races to go. And Da Costa claimed his first championship title with races to spare, finishing behind his teammate in a DS Techeetah 1-2.
Oh, I've lost for words, man.
In Season 7, we witnessed one of the most hotly contested championship battles to date, with only 6 points between the top 5 going into the final race. And it was all action from the start.
We go green in Berlin, and Evans doesn't move, and he's been hit. Mitch Evans has been hit by Eduardo Mortara. 2 title contenders out.
But the drama didn't stop there, as Brit Jake Dennis became the next title contender to crash out.
What on earth is going on in this title decider?
Which meant that the Mercedes EQ driver Nick De Vries was the firm favourite as he battled his way through a gripping finale to claim the title.
Unbelievable! That's it, you got it, mate, you got it.
So who will steal the headlines at Templehof this season as we get ready for another action-packed weekend in Berlin?
Berlin's Templehof Airport has been home to some incredible action over the years, and a sellout crowd is here to witness more today. We've already had a thrilling qualifying session, so let's go over to Jack Nicholls to hear more.
Thank you very much, Vernon. Qualifying took place just a couple of hours ago here in Berlin, and it was a very, very entertaining session indeed. Although not for Pascal Wehrlein, the championship leader will be starting all the way down in 15th on the grid. A real struggle for the Porsche man, and he's got a lot of work to do this afternoon. Mitch Evans struggled also. After winning last time out in Sao Paulo, he is only going to be 9th on the grid. Nick Cassidy is another man in championship contention. He's lining up 3rd, and he's going to be in 6th spot for the Envision Racing team. He and Jake Dennis both made it through to the duels, both knocked out in the quarterfinals, but both still in the mix at the front of the field, with Dennis starting 5th on the grid. Dan Ticktum did an excellent job in the Neo 333 car. The British driver lines up in 4th spot, just behind Stoffel van Dorn. The reigning champion took pole position in Sao Paulo and slipped back to 6th, but he'll be 3rd for this E-Prix. And the final was Sebastian Buemi versus Sam Bird. It was Buemi who took pole position in superb style, and we can find out more about how he did it with Karun.
I've got the 2 laps here from the final duel. Both Jaguar powertrains, Sebastian Buemi on the right, Sam Bird on the left. Into the first long left-hander, very similar lines initially. Buemi, though, winds the lock on a bit earlier, takes a slightly tighter line than Sam. But when we look at the apex of the reference here, as it's just about to come onto the back straight, very similar in terms of positioning, you can see, compared to the curb. So no big difference there through that first sequence of corners. This next left-hander looks pretty innocuous, but because the track then goes around to the right-hand side, around that wall, the drivers are really struggling to put the power down as they come out of this corner. So they're really fighting for traction. Sam's hands there, you can see, just seesawing at the wheel a little bit. The run down to the next left-hand hairpin. It's a big, wide open entry. Neither driver really gets too close to the wall on the right-hand side because it's dusty, it's dirty, and they don't want to get that dirt and muck onto their tires. Into the hairpin itself, both drivers, pretty similar line through there. But now, as we get towards the latter part of the lap, this is where we start to see some differences. If I just pick a reference here, the curb, you could see Buemi just a smidge ahead of Sam Bird there. You could see, if I just look at that bit there of curb, you could see it there for Sam on the left, but not for Sebastian. So you can see he's slightly ahead. And actually, as you get through, Buemi uses a different line through here because he's using much less road. You could see to the wall on the right-hand side. And he's thinking very much about the next corner, trying to open up the next right-hander. Down to this penultimate hairpin, though, he locks up a bit, goes very deep, really gets a much longer run around him. But it allows him to get the steering wheel straighter a bit earlier and get a better exit. So he doesn't actually lose much in terms of lap time. The last corner, both drivers now, rear tires, really scrambling for grip, really overheating. But on the run up to the line, it is Sebastian Buemi who ended up just in front by 0.14 of a second.
Right, we're just moments away before we go green here at Templehof Airport in Berlin. So let's see if we can chat to the Brit, Sam Bird, who is 2nd on the grid at the moment, behind Sebastian Buemi on pole. Sam, 2 minutes. Oh, 2 minutes, there you go, typical. Let's see if we can find Sebastian Buemi in that 2 minutes, because if our pole sitter is here, he will chat to us, but I can't see him either. He is not around. So let's see if that's taken me 2 minutes. I tell you what, let's go to Nikki Shields. Nikki, where are you?
Well, I'm absolutely delighted to say that joining me now is German athlete, a legend when it comes to the 400 metres, Alyssa Smith, listed also as one of the Forbes 30 under 30. What an achievement. What do you think to Formula E? What are you doing here?
I'm so excited to be here. It's my first Formula E event, so yeah, I'm really excited for the race. And I also think that it's really cool that sustainability is getting more awareness and that Berlin is a big part of it since day one.
Yeah, it's an amazing race. We love coming to Berlin. It's been on the calendar every season in Formula E. What does it mean to the German fans to bring Formula E here?
It is amazing because here I think it's such an amazing track here. And I'm really excited to see the race, so let's see how it goes.
Excellent. What have you been doing while you've been at the track? Have you had a little nosy around some of the garages, met any drivers?
Yeah, I met some drivers, so that was really awesome. And I think it was amazing to see how chilled they were before the race. I think that's really, really cool. And I also got the experience to drive on the track 2 times, so that was also an amazing experience. The cars are crazy fast.
Yeah, slightly different track that we have here. No hurdles or batons that you're used to.
Yeah, that's true. So it was so fast.
Excellent. Well, Alyssa, thank you so much for joining us. And enjoy the race. Have an amazing time on the grid. It's always a good part of the day.
Yes, thank you so much.
Pleasure, thanks.
Sebastian Buemi sat on pole, congratulations. A record-breaking number of pole positions for yourself. There's a smile on your face, which has been quite rare recent seasons, but everything's going your way now.
Yeah, it's getting better. Obviously, the last race was a bit of a bad one with the hand injury, but now starting on pole is always good. We know it's going to be tough to win, starting on pole, but I think we've learned quite a lot in the past few races on what we should do and not do, so hopefully I'll be able to put all those learnings into action.
It's always nice to see you smiling, Seb. I know you're a very serious driver, but you're a big advocate for Formula E, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, I've been there from the beginning. I believe in the sport. I just, wanted to grow, but on the other hand, I want to win. I'm there to win.
Wrist okay?
Yeah, not too bad so far.
All right, good luck. Thank you very much. There you go, Sebastian Buemi. So let's go back and revisit Sam Bird, the Brit in the Jaguar TCS racing car. He said 2 minutes. We've given him 4. Let's see if he's going to custard pie me again. Sam? Yeah, thank you very much. You said 2 minutes. We give you 4. Now you're available to chat. How are you feeling? Second on the grid.
Yeah, feeling good. Obviously, clear road ahead of me, Vernon. I think we've got a quick race car. We showed that in FP1 and FP2. So yeah, now it's just a game of strategy. We're like, what is going to happen during this race? Nobody really knows. I think I've got an idea of how it might play out, but so many variables, so many quick guys behind. Yeah.
The guy that sits on pole very rarely wins in Formula E, which means that's an open door for yourself, Sam, but it's very, very difficult to get on top of the podium in Formula E.
It is. It's not Formula Easy, is it?
There you go! There you go! Let me write that down! Sam, all the best. Congratulations. Lovely guy, Sam Bird. Another guy who has been in the championship for a very, very long time. It would be amazing if Sam, after everything that's gone on in the past few races with Jaguar, if he could get on the podium once again. Top bloke, Sam. Made it on the podium in Sao Paulo.
So we'll be back down on the grid in a couple of moments' time and waiting for the race to get underway. It's going to be very, very entertaining, this E-Prix. Alongside me in commentary will be the former Audi team principal in Formula E, Alan McNish. And Alan, anticipation building. Norman Nato starting 14th on the grid in the Nissan, but for the home teams out there, your Porsches and the like, what's that like? Because you've done it as the team principal of Audi at this very track in your home race.
Yeah, it's obviously it's your home event. There's a lot of focus. The grandstands tend to be full with flags with your manufacturer branding on it. As we're looking down at the attack mode area in turn 6, that's in the outside, so the drivers will dive into that. Very easy to miss it, so you do the extra mileage, but you don't actually get the extra boost of it. However, with the different options, that's one of the strategy points that Sam Bird was going to be talking about. But from a team point of view, like you said, with Porsche, it's a big event. There's a lot of guests there. There's a lot of people cheering for you, and it's a tough one because they're not quite at the front.
No, they are not. Pascal Wehrlein, the championship leader, will be starting in 15th position. It's his joint worst qualifying performance of the season, joint with Sao Paulo 3 weeks ago. There he is. The Porsche can come through the field. We have seen that. That is Pascal there and his race engineer Carl Wilson-Clark to the left-hand side. But he must be. Do you end up sitting there thinking, how am I here again? How am I in the middle of the pack again? Why can't we get this qualifying pace sorted?
Well, like Jake Dennis said in the pre-show before qualifying, he's just got to break that duck and break the cycle, in which he was able to do. Pascal wasn't able to do it, but very frankly, it didn't look as if he had the pace all weekend to be able to do it. Whereas Antonio Felix da Costa, he was quick all the way up to qualifying, made a mistake, and he's also back down at the back of the grid. So from a team point of view, you can look at it and think, yeah, okay, there's points missed. But I think for Pascal, he'll have the pace to come through, but the other people at the front are quick. Here's another driver that I know very well, Rennie Raskus. He was one of our drivers. In fact, came here in that marathon when we had 6 races in 9 days. Got his first ever Formula E podium in the 4th event. And in fact, Tristan Summerscale, who was part of our project there on the right-hand side as well, visiting. So I think for the German drivers and German teams, it's obviously a big one, but it's one that hasn't always given them the results that maybe they wanted.
There is Andre Lotterer, speaking of home drivers. He lines up 13th on the grid for the Avalanche Andretti team. Just poised by himself, getting ready to go. Oh, now the gang arrive and wish him a bit of luck. But it's going to be fascinating to see what Andre Lotterer can do. His teammate Jake Dennis in 5th. Let's head back down to the grid.
Temperatures rising, and with Dan Ticktum, another Brit on the grid here at Formula E. How are you feeling, my friend? Awesome performance in qualifying.
Yeah, as for most of the season, one lap pace has been really good. I wouldn't say I'm nervous, I'm very rarely nervous, but I think to hold position or go forward today is potentially unrealistic. Don't want to be defeatist, but I'm a realistic character. Staying the points would be very positive for the team.
Right, good man, and a special day for you because you've got the family with you. There you go, Matt. That's Dan's family there, all supporting him, which is great stuff. We love that, Dan. All the very best. Dan Ticktum is the only driver who's got his own autograph on his hat. Hilarious. Let's go and find another Brit, Jake Dennis. Here he is, poster boy for Formula E. He's a big unit. Here he is. Hi, Jake. We chatted earlier on before we went live on the TV that you're in a great position. Just explain why you feel you're in a great position to do some damage today.
Yeah, obviously we're very energy limited this weekend, and from the FP2 running we've done, it seems that leading the race isn't the best thing to do right now. So if I can just have a clean turns 1 and 2, stay way out of trouble, and then settle in for the next 35 laps, and then send it with about 3 laps to go.
Send it.
Send it.
Love that, my friend. I love it. For those who are just joining us watching Formula E for the very first time, just give us quickly some significant differences between this and any other racing series.
Well, obviously we've got a battery behind us, but I think the biggest thing for Formula E is that we don't actually have enough energy to finish the race. That's really the most crucial thing from Formula E. So we have the technology and the smart people behind the computer screens to come up with all these ideas of how we actually recharge the battery while we're driving, and it's up to the driver to come up with a perfect technique, and obviously the engineer to give us the right valuable information to finish the race. And best person who does that the most efficiently wins. So, and this is going to highlight who's got the best powertrain. So yeah, it's going to be a really exciting race. Lots of overtaking, and yeah, elbows out for the last sort of 5 or 6 laps.
All right, you go and do your thing, my friend. There you go, Jake Dennis. Just give the audience one last look at Jake Dennis before he puts his helmet on. Jake, smile at the camera. There he is. There he is. He's a walking Athena poster, that boy. Right, let's go over to Karun, who's with Stoffel van Dorn, our current reigning champion.
Nice hat. What's going on here?
Traditions.
What's the tradition?
Well, I just wear the hat and then I just try and follow up with a good result.
Okay, what is a good result? Because we saw in Sao Paulo, nobody wanted to lead that race, especially you, starting from pole. You're starting 3rd today, so is that going to be better until the last lap?
Well, you'd wish to think. It's still going to be quite an interesting race. I think, the first couple of laps again are going to be quite challenging. People are not going to want to lead the race, but at the same time, you've got to stay out of trouble and you don't want to get tangled up. So it's a tough balance to make, but you know, I think we're in a good place, and hopefully we can race a little bit better than Sao Paulo.
And efficiency-wise, are you looking more against the two Jags ahead of you, or what about people like Jake right behind you on the grid?
Well, I hope my fight is going to be with Sam and with Seb in front of me. So definitely there will be some strategic battles out there. But yeah, I hope I can make their life difficult.
All right, good luck. Cheers.
Well, one driver hoping to continue the momentum from Sao Paulo with that epic win for Jaguar TCS Racing is Mitch Evans. Mitch, a slightly different story today. It's going to be a bit of a battle on your hands. We're starting down in P9.
Yeah, I look at it in two ways. One, I need to find a bit of pace. I've just been struggling a touch, just enough to not make it into the duels. It's always a way here for me. I just can't quite crack it. But look, we're in the hunt. Our car's efficient. Starting within the top 10, honestly, in these races doesn't really matter. That's all that matters, actually, that you're in the top 10. So being P9 is actually, I'm not too worried about it. I just need to find a little bit of car speed to feel a bit more comfortable. If I can do that, I think I'll be in good shape.
So have you made many changes to the car since qualifying to get the setup right?
Yeah, quite a bit, yep.
Okay. Any secrets that you want to share with a couple of people?
I think I went in the wrong direction personally on my car for qualifying. Okay. So I'm coming back on that, and hopefully it's made it a little bit faster.
Can we see you and Sam Bird on the podium again? He's up front.
It'd be great. Yeah, obviously, you know, all the Jaguars are in the top 4. Sorry, in the top 10. The two guys, you know, with Sam and Seb at the front. Who knows? You know, Sam started P10 in the last race, and I saw him in the last few laps, and I qualified in P3. So I'm hoping to join them at some point. I just don't know when.
Yeah, well, we never really know what's happened, but fingers crossed another podium for you. Thanks very much, yes. Mitch Evans.
Karun, it's interesting that we've got two veterans of Formula E up at the front, Sam Bird and Sebastian Buemi.
Well, they've started on this bit of concrete 16 times before, so they know their way around here. I think they've also got that mutual respect. I think on the opening lap, you've got to give each other room. It gets pretty tight after you get to the apex of turn 2 and around 3, so they'll give each other room, and Stoffel, obviously, the reigning champion there, ready to pounce if they do get in a bit of a tussle.
It's a really exciting race ahead of us, and the temperature just keeps going up and up and up. Berlin never, ever disappoints. I mean, it is a unique circuit. Some drivers like it, like we said. Some drivers absolutely hate it. But what it does do is bring drama.
Well, and there's plenty of overtaking opportunities. It's quite tricky for energy as well. So the drivers are really going to have to manage that. And obviously, they don't know what their energy levels are like until we in TV world give them the information. So, yeah, Jack and Alan have the power.
Oh, I cannot wait. Karun, thank you so much. That was a really entertaining grid walk. Enjoyed that. All right, here we go. This is the Berlin E-Prix.
Formula E returns to its longest-serving race circuit. We are back in Berlin. The race stage is set at Templehof Airport. Are you ready to be electrified? As we approach the halfway point of Season 9.
Boys, what have we just done?
Yes!
Congrats, everybody.
You did it, mate! Whoa! Well done! And we go green in Berlin! So just a couple of minutes before the racing gets underway in Berlin, the grandstands are packed and the front row of the grid is set. The championship leader, Pascal Wehrlein, all the way back in 15th spot, but the front row is Sam Bird in second and Sebastian Buemi on pole position. There you can see the run down towards the first corner, a long left-hander that tightens and tightens. The Mahindras towards the back of the grid, that's Oliver Rowland. All 22 cars lined up and ready to go. This could be an absolutely pivotal day in the championship. Certainly a pivotal weekend, I feel. I think the title fight is going to look a lot different coming out of this weekend than it is looking right now. Sebastian Buemi there on the right-hand side on pole position. Sam Bird alongside him on the front row as we get ready to go racing in Berlin. We are back in Berlin, the only city that has been on the Formula E calendar since the very start of the championship in 2014, is set to host a double-header weekend that could be pivotal in this season's championship fight. The championship leaders towards the back, the chasing drivers are at the front. There could be a big swing in the next 40 laps. I'm Jack Nichols. Alongside me is the former F1 driver, three-time Le Mans winner, and former Audi team principal in Formula E, Alan McNish. And Alan, the Berlin circuit, a little south of the city centre, is one that the drivers know well, but they've got new cars and new tyres for this season.
Certainly do. It's a different game, but the circuit's still the same. It's a difficult circuit, very abrasive, puts a lot of energy into the tyre through turn 1 and also through turn 6 where we are, where also the attack mode is, and then into the last hairpins in turns 9 and 10. Now, there's a lot of overtaking potentials here because with the energy saving, I think we're going to see a lot of action.
Yeah, it's very, very wide, it's very open, there's lots of tight corners, so if you're starting towards the back, you can make some progress. That's what Robin Freins and Oliver Rowland will be wanting to do, starting in 22nd and 21st place respectively. Antonio Felix da Costa, second on the grid last time, he's 19th on the grid this time around. Sasha Fenestraz is 18th for the Nissan team, just behind Nico Müller. Then it's Norman Nato in 16th, the championship leader Pascal Wehrlein, 15th on the grid. Andre Lotterer for Avalanche Andretti is on an all-German 7th row of the grid, and then it's Jake Hughes in 12th with Eduardo Mortara just missing out on the top 10. Mitch Evans won last time out in Sao Paulo, he's only 9th this time around. Max Günther should have had a better qualifying but made a mistake. And then you have Jake Dennis and Nick Cassidy. They are 2nd and 3rd in the championship respectively. They're starting 5th and 6th on the grid. Stoffel Van Dorn, the reigning champion, lines up 3rd, just ahead of the always entertaining Dan Tixem. But the front row of the grid is Sam Bird in 2nd for Jaguar, and Sebastian Buemi, the first driver to take 2 pole positions so far this season. He has the most pole positions in Formula E history. He's looking for his first victory in quite a while, and a chance to hoik himself back up the championship standings. As it stands, Pascal Wehrlein leads the championship on 86 points. Jake Dennis is 2nd on 62, so there's a big gap there, but then there's only a point back to Nick Cassidy, then a point back to Jean-Eric Vergne, and then 2 points back to Antonio Felix da Costa. Can one of those drivers make big inroads today and make this a 2-horse race? Because at the moment, Wehrlein has the advantage, Alan.
Yeah, I think but it's very early in the championship. Say it's a 2-horse race. I think it's going to be a 5 or 6-horse race, especially after tomorrow, because we go again tomorrow. So the points are available now. 26 points, 25 for the victory and 1 for fastest lap today. And then we've got that and the 3 points for pole position again tomorrow. So there's a lot to play for.
40 laps incoming. Sebastian Buemi will lead the way. So much to get into over the next 45 minutes or so. We've got attack mode, which we'll tell you about as the race progresses, which adds a fascinating strategical element. And we've also got the slipstreaming and the draft, in that you want to be in the tow like a Tour de France style cycling stage. You don't necessarily want to be the driver in the lead of the E-Prix, but try telling that to a racing driver. That's Wehrlein's view from all the way back in 15th. So many cars ahead of him. The green flags wave from the back. Buemi on pole, Bird alongside him on the front row. Round 7 of the ABB FIA Formula E World Championship is about to get underway. The green car on the right is Buemi, the black and white Jaguar is Sam Bird. All 5 lights are on. And we go green in Berlin. It's a very, very good start from Stoffel Van Dorn in 3rd. He's going to slice through the middle, or he backs out. Really good start there, but Tixem's on the attack. Around the outside of the Neo into turn 1. Is he going to hit the front? He is! Tixem leads from 4th on the grid. You can never discount entertainment when he's at the wheel. Tixem in the lead. Buemi 2nd, Bird 3rd, 4th for Van Dorn, 5th is Günther. Now they all close up into the left-hander of turn 5 and head down the next straight towards the left-hander of turn 6. But a great mega start from Tixem. There's a bit of damage towards the back. Wehrlein's lost a place to Nico Müller. Here they come into this left-hander at turn 6. Cassidy's having a fight with Sese Camera, and I think is trying to get ahead of Dennis as well in all of that. What a rocket start from Tictum.
Yeah, Dan Tictum obviously didn't listen to the message that he's going to have to conserve energy at some point in the race. He went for it right from the start. The opposite game was played by Stoffel van Dorn. Looked like he was going to challenge for the lead, but then backed straight out of it, conserving a little bit of energy there. Pascal Wehrlein is in that difficult place. He needs to attack to move forward. Every time he does, he'll use energy, but also he's in that dodge area where you can quite easily get your nose wiped off.
Across the line they come, end of lap 1, Tictum leading, Buemi in second, Bird in third, fourth for Van Dorn, fifth is Max Günther. Bird is right on the back of Sebastian Buemi, and it's going to be very interesting here because the Neo 333 team have been at the back for years. 4 of the last 5 seasons, I think they finished last in the championship. They've rediscovered some pace this year. They're back towards the front, not necessarily race winners, but they struggle with energy, with their energy consumption. So everyone else, I think, will be happy to sit behind Tictum. I don't think anyone of the front runners will be too displeased to see Tictum take the lead at the first lap. Here's his radio.
Okay, just careful with the energy. Sensible.
I think that was...
Mike Henderson knows it already.
Straight away after the first corner, but saying that, you're right, Sebastian Buemi basically has to sit there quite close to Dan Tictum, not close enough if there's a problem that he gets caught up with it, to get the aerodynamic effect and use that slipstream to just save himself a little bit of energy that he can deploy later on in the race. However, he's also got to be careful that Sam Bird doesn't sneak past him, because ultimately what they want to do is just to sit and play the long game right now.
I can't remember a car going from 4th to 1st in the first corner of a Formula E race before. Let's watch it here. Van Dorn is the driver in the black and gold car who gets the best start. He then realises, actually, I don't know if I want to be taking the lead or going 3 wide. Tictum says, I want to take the lead and go 3 wide.
But Tictum actually got a very good launch off the line, so his first sort of 4 to 5 metres was excellent acceleration, and he just kept his foot in it, and off he went round outside of it, and that was it. So he's leading a lap. Brilliant.
Oh, here we go, on board with Tictum. Yeah, the front 2 both got a poor start. And then here we go, send it. And it's quite dirty on the outside of this corner if he'd have gone too wide.
Yeah, but I don't think he was ever going to give it up. When he got to that position and he was alongside, then he was going to fight for that all the way to the end.
Bird's retaken the lead. Sam Bird has taken the lead. Buemi activated his attack mode, as did Tictum. So that's what happened there. Attack mode has been activated by Tictum and Buemi and Van Dorn. So that's why suddenly the order is shuffled very, very early to take attack mode. I think on lap 3 is when attack mode opens. Very rare to see drivers go straight through it, and I think that's what sort of caught us all a bit by surprise, that they went that early.
Yeah, especially drivers at the front, because you don't always want to be the first, as you see a replay of it here, the first 2 following through, and that leaves Sam Bird in the lead, and then Stoffel van Dorn as well. And Sebastian Buemi gets crushed against the wall there, gets squeezed a little bit, so has to lift out of it. And that's why he's still sitting back behind the Maserati Günther.
So yeah, there is Max Günther in the blue Maserati MSG car, and into attack mode now comes Bird, as does Günther. So they're kind of using this as, oh, that's going to be tight on the exit there, and they just about made it through. So Bird ahead of Dennis. Bird now in attack mode. Dennis hasn't used his first attack mode. You have to take it twice over the course of the race. You can either do 1 minute, then 3 minutes, 3 minutes, then 1 minute, or 2 minutes, 2 minutes.
Think about taking it again straight away.
Tictum wants to get those attack modes out of the way, because he doesn't want to lead the race and give everyone a slipstream.
Yeah, he's looking to try to do exactly that, just get them both out of the way straight away. However, the next one's obviously going to be a slightly longer one as well for Dan Tictum. So that'll be a 3-minute run for him. So in that respect, when you're doing it, you're also using a lot of energy.
It's going to be hard to get a gap, but I think it's the right thing to do.
So Tictum wants to push, get a gap, and then take his attack mode, so then he can just sit in the pack and not be the one using it.
But honestly, to get the gap, he's going to use up so much energy, and then he'll to be able to actually still come out into a good position. If not, he gets caught in the mix of everybody else. But he's going for it.
Yeah, he fancies it, and so does Buemi. So Buemi comes through as well. So Tictum and Buemi on lap 5 have both activated their attack mode. Buemi comes back to the inside of Günther, coming into turn 7 and gets that made. So Bird is now in the lead. Jake Dennis has used neither attack mode, and it's up into 2nd place. Here's an attack. That is Stoffel van Dorn to the inside of Günther into the hairpin at turn 9. He makes it through. It's side by side further back as well. I think that was Evans and Cassidy having a little bit of a fight. but Cassidy holds that 7th spot for the moment. Out across the line they come, and it's just a queue of cars coming out of the final corner. Bird leading down towards turn 1. Jake Dennis is second, but Dennis is yet to activate an attack mode. Tictum and Buemi behind are in attack mode, and it's their second attack mode.
Yeah, just looking a little bit further down here, Stoffel van Dorn. And this is the overtake into the hairpin, so he'll dive down the inside of the Maserati ahead of him. Just ekes it. It's very nicely done. Just basically breaks alongside the Maserati. Doesn't give him any option except to lift off and lose a place.
There is the DS Penske crew. There's the Maserati MSG crew. And here comes Bird into attack mode and Jake Dennis.
Okay, that's Whiskey 2, we shadow Bird.
So they wanted to do whatever Sam Bird did, but Dennis has come out sort of in the middle of the pack now with 2 cars in between he and Sam Bird. That's how tight the racing is, and he's getting back on it. Oh, late block from Gunther.
Yeah, very late. Gunther obviously realised what happened the previous lap with Van Dorn, didn't want it to happen again. However, that's lost Dennis a little bit of time there.
Dennis will still be in attack mode when they come down the start, finish straight this time. Maybe Dennis will complain.
Clear Gunther, Sierra 1. Clear Gunther, Sierra 1.
Yeah, definitely has to get past Gunther as soon as
Here
possible.
he goes, down towards turn 1, to the inside goes Jake Dennis, and he is through up into 5th position. So Tictum is still leading, Buemi is 2nd, Bird is 3rd, 4th is Van Dorn, 5th now is Jake Dennis, having made that move.
And just a little update, championship leader Pascal Wehrlein still down in 14th position at this moment, hasn't really moved. He started 15th, has made 1 place, but not too much from there. Oh, big dive down into the hairpin. That's one of the Maseratis just sliding down the inside of a Jaguar.
Yeah, it's Mortara passing Evans for 9th position. So that's an overtake. Here's a replay of Jake Dennis. This is how he got the move done on Max Gunther.
Yeah, Gunther basically didn't fight that when he fought it into the hairpin, but that one he realised was not going to work in his favour and lifted and let it happen.
That's Roger Griffiths, the team principal of Avalanche Andretti. Ticks him in the lead, Buemi behind him, Bird 3rd. Fascinating E-Prix unfolding here in Berlin already. I'm only on lap 7.
So all cars ahead except Van Dorn are in their 2nd attack.
So that's Dennis being told our strategy is different here, and Verne is now passing Evans and getting up into 11th place. Sete Camera's on a bit of a mission as well. Around the outside here goes Edo Mortara as he tries to get Sete Camera. That's a tight one, but he's pulled it off. Mortara is absolutely flying up through the order here as they come out of turn 7, and he's now up into 8th place.
I'm trying to under-consume, but I'm only under-consuming a bit. I'm sure they're under-consuming more than I am.
Yeah, I think that's probably a fair thing, under-consuming.
Oh, 3 wide into the hairpin. Cassidy went through attack mode, 3 wide out of the hairpin, coming in towards turn 7. That's Evans and Verne fighting it out as they flick through the quick left-hander and down towards the hairpin at turn 9 again. And Van Dorn is going past Buemi. Stoffel Van Dorn up into 3rd position, ahead of Sebastian Buemi, and he is now starting to make some progress. So Tictum leading, that is Sam Bird. Now this is Sam Bird coming out of the final corner.
Sam Bird looks very, very good in the brakes. I've seen it for the last 2 or 3 laps, but at the same time, he's now just slipping into the lead, going down the inside. And I think everybody is looking at Sam Bird. If you look at the drivers behind, Dennis was told about it in the radio. Also Van Dorn, they're just trying to shadow Sam.
I think Tictum doesn't want to lead this race.
Well, he's not.
Well, he's not now, yeah.
But at the same time, he was trying to basically conserve energy, but in the lead he could not do it. And everybody sitting behind him was just conserving energy in his slipstream.
Okay, let's sit there. Foxtrot Bird.
Well, follow Bird, but now he's been passed. All the 2 Maseratis have just crunched into each other a little bit, and that was Mortara getting ahead of Gunther, lap 9 of 40. An attack here from Mitch Evans. There's damage on Gunther's car because of contact with the other Maserati of Eduardo Mortara, who's just got ahead of Dennis now and up into 5th place. Eduardo Mortara is absolutely dialed in. Sete Camera's lunging. Oh, and he clunks him. No. Sete Camera into the back of Max Gunther, so that's more damage for Gunther and damage for Sete Camera. Wehrlein, the championship leader, is in the middle of all of this. He's got to try and pick his way through. Looks to the inside. really needs to not get caught up and damaged here. You can see the bodywork under Sete Camera's car, and Verline, championship leader, gets a couple of places. He's now up into 11th spot. Points go down to the top 10. Gunter's dropped back to 8th position. Sete Camera's going to be out of the race before too long.
Attack now.
Mortara will take his attack mode, but Sete Camera is skating on his front wing on the rundown, and here comes Bird getting overtaken. But he didn't take his attack mode.
No, he's
already taken 2 of them, that's why. And Dennis is up the inside here, so Van Dorn is now in the lead of this E-Prix with Tictum in second. Bird's just gone from 1st to 6th all of a sudden. So that's a very interesting call from Sam Bird.
I think it's a mistake from Sam Bird in that respect, but they're all sort of crowding into each other at this moment in time, tripping over each other because nobody's effectively in the lead and trying to go flat out to pull away. Stoffel Van Dorn is now leading, Dan Tictum second, Mortara is third, having taken that attack mode, and Sebastian Buemi's dropped to 4th.
Actually, I think Mortara hasn't taken an attack mode in the end. Because
you're correct.
Still got 4 minutes to go. The message was attack, and now he's up to 2nd. Eduardo Mortara here, flying.
We push and we go attack. We push and we go attack.
So Van Dorn being told to push and then activate your attack mode. Oh, Sete Camera and René Rast.
Yeah, both have got a broken nose and a lot of debris there. To be honest, Sete Camera shouldn't have been out in the circuit continuing with the nose hanging off it the way it was anyway. The incident was his own fault when he tried to break too many people into the final corner, but René's now stuck with the nose half underneath, and if he drags it around, then the chances are it'll all disintegrate onto the circuit and cause a full course yellow or a safety car.
And here's the move for the lead. Mortara's come from 11th to lead in 11 laps. Eduardo Mortara, who took pole position here in Berlin for both races last season, won one of them, finished 2nd in the other. He's gone from 11th to 1st here. There's a look to the inside from Buemi, trying to get ahead of Tictum. The 2 Jaguars are right together. Gunter went really wide for some reason at that final corner. Here come the Jags, both trying to look to the inside of Sebastian Buemi. Evans swapping places with Bird into turn 1. Through the left-hander.
Tell you what, Jack, every lap, it's like a roll of the dice who's going to come out in the lead. It's amazing.
You can get involved in the Formula E predictor on the Formula E app if you want, but you'd be a braver person than I am. Lap 12 of 40. Mortara leads, Van Dorn is 2nd, Dennis is 3rd, Buemi is 4th, Tictum is 5th, Pascal Verline has got him into 10th place. And here into attack mode go Mortara and Van Dorn, and Dennis is back in the lead, and the safety car deployed. Safety car deployed. Must be for some debris out there.
Yeah, there's a lot of debris out there after the final incident with Sete Camera and René Rast, and the front wings hanging off everywhere. There you see a big bit of front wing into turn 10. And to be honest, there's no part of the circuit here in this race this year that is off limits for overtaking. So the chances are that that piece of wing would get hit at some point.
Yeah, so you can see that debris on the inside there from, I think that's Sete Camera's front wing.
Yeah, but from a strategic point of view, the people who hadn't taken the attack mode would take it now because they would realise that this was coming. With the amount of debris on the circuit, the chances were very high that there would be a safety car or at least a full course yellow.
So you can't activate attack mode when the safety car is out, but if you have already activated it, that's convenient. What happened with Sete Camera? Well, this is where he first did a clump, going up the inside of Vern and then smashing into the back of Gunter.
And also depositing a bit of his front wing onto Vern's front wing as well, which fell off later in the lap, I think.
So, safety car deployed, lap 13 of 40. A long, long way to go in this E-Prix, and a lot still to happen. Jake Dennis leading, Mortara 2nd, Buemi 3rd, Tictum 4th, Van Dorn 5th. So, Alan, okay, Dennis and Mortara still have an attack mode remaining, so has Evans, but we've never seen drivers using their attack mode so early in an E-Prix like we have today. Never.
No, usually you don't want to be the first through the attack mode because you lose too much of the time loss at the dirty part of the circuit. But you see there, Mortara 70%, 3% less than Dennis. So all of the places he's made up, he's used energy to do that.
Yeah, comes at a cost. This is what happened with Rast and Sete Camera. Keep your eyes bottom left. And I think we will see... Oh, there we go.
It was the other way around. It was Rennie that tagged him.
Looked like Rast into the back of Sete Camera. Oh, here we go, on board with the German. Onto the brake, doesn't look particularly close.
Just going too quick and couldn't do anything about it. Everybody was slowing down and Rennie wasn't able to slow down at the same pace. So I must apologise to Sete Camera for actually, the initial feeling was that it was partly his fault, but it was an innocent party, but still shouldn't necessarily have been out there with the front wing off the car.
And that is Rast, who is come back into the pits. He's had repairs and he's back out on circuit, and he'll join the back of the safety car queue. Lap 13 of 40. Ian James, the team principal at Neon McLaren. Hughes still running in 14th position. There's the safety car, driven by Bruno Correa.
So we're looking very strong on energy, mate. Okay, consider Helsinki at the restart, okay?
Consider Helsinki at the restart.
Nice if you can get it. Safety car deployed in Berlin, lap 13 of 40, make that lap 14 of 40. Jake Dennis is leading, Eduardo Mortara is second, Sebastian Buemi is third, and Karun Chandok has thoughts and is in the pit lane. Karun.
Yeah, thanks, Jack. What I was thinking about was what you and Alan were wondering in terms of why are they using attack mode early? And the only thing I can think of is this is a race which is going to be quite energy limited towards the end. The drivers have all said with the circuit layout and the number of laps, they are going to be tight for energy. And perhaps the teams and drivers are wondering that there's no point saving it to the end because they won't be able to take the benefit of more of the higher power mode, because the higher power mode uses more energy.
Yeah, and there you can see the energy remaining for the cars on the left-hand side. Dennis has 72%, 4% more than Edo Mortara and Dan Ticktum. Buemi, Van Dorn, Evans, Bird, they're all in a similar position, so Dennis is doing quite well here.
I also feel like the pad strength has changed. Like, really changed, got a lot weaker.
Okay.
One additional point, picking up on Karun there, it's true you'll not be able to use it, however, when you do have that extra energy, put temperature into the battery, and ultimately, historically, you could be battery temperature limited around here. Not with this new Generation 3 car, though.
Racing back underway in Berlin, lap 15 of 40 as Jake Dennis leads across the line. Edo Mortara started 11th and is now up into second position. Third is Sebastian Buemi. Fourth is the Neo of Dan Ticktum with Stoffel Van Dorn in fifth position. And this is kind of the most spread out they've been all race after a safety car restart. Formula E must be the only series where a safety car spreads the field out as opposed to bunching it up. But Evans and Bird lurking for Jaguar in 6th and 7th. Pascal Wehrlein still there in 10th, but Alan McNish. So many of these teams are playing, well, all of them are playing the long game. Jaguar might be quite happy in 6th and 7th.
Yeah, they may be, but I think Dennis and Mortara with that, with the attack mode that they still have in their pocket, I think what they'll do is try to build a little bit of a gap and then to take it from there. As you see Stoffel Van Dorn, who always seems to be lurking. He maybe drops back for a reason, but he can always get his way back up to the front, looking very, very strong this afternoon.
Yeah, he overtakes Dan Ticktum in the Neo, and Mitch Evans follows through as well. Up the inside into the hairpin at turn 9. And then on the power coming out, those two side by side, and soon Ticktum has to relinquish that position, and I wouldn't be surprised if Bird tries to follow through fairly swiftly as well. Another lap in the books. We might get added laps at the end of this race, depending on how much time is spent behind safety car as well. There goes Bird, going past Ticktum, so he's now up into 6th position. There he is, and gets ahead of Dan Ticktum. And Ticktum now drops down to 7th position. Verne 8th, Gunter 9th, Wehrlein in 10th. Cassidy's one that we haven't really spoken about. Qualified 6th on the grid, and he's all the way back in 11th now.
Let's get back in the toe, mate. I'm over-consuming.
Solar's on the radar.
So Dennis saying, I want to get back in the toe. I don't want to be out front leading. So he activates his second attack mode, and that'll drop him back into the pack, just in between the two Jaguars. So Evans in 4th, Dennis in 5th, but he will have more power, Jake Dennis, for the next 3 minutes, so may be able to make an overtake. In fact, there's a dramatic look towards the inside. It's Evans attacking Van Dorn, and Evans going through, and Bird now trying to attack Jake Dennis as well. Bird not quite able to pull it off, but Evans is up into 3rd spot.
Oh, that was a bit close there, Evans and Bird. Evans braked, and then Van Dorn was close to hitting the back of him as they came up into it. And Evans is definitely on the charge.
Yeah, he's coming past Buemi, and look at that. Jake Dennis following through. He takes 2 cars. Bird trying to go around the outside and get Stoffel Van Dorn. He's going to pull that one off, I think, Bird. He's there on the right-hand side in the white and black Jaguar, and he gets ahead. So Bird is now up into 5th position. Van Dorn drops to 6th. Evans is up into 2nd place. So Jaguar have made the decision. Right, time to head towards the front. Evans has gained 7 places. Mortara's gained 10.
Let's go with Mortara. Let's go.
And that's the message. Well, you can't go with him because he's activated his attack mode. Eduardo Mortara through attack mode, so Mitch Evans takes the lead, but still has both of his attack modes still to use. He's the only driver in the top 8 who's got both attack modes left, Mitch Evans.
Yeah, but also remember, in terms of energy, the last time we saw it, there was still a 2% delta where Jake Dennis was 2% better off than anybody else. Yeah, everybody else was thereabouts, and then another 2% down was Edo Mortara.
So interesting, you've got that middle pack, haven't you, on the graphic on the left. 9th to 17th have got all their attack modes remaining. The leaders barely have any, quite a lot of them. Here we go again. Gunter fighting Van Dorn. Evans still in the lead. Dennis 2nd. We're on board with Buemi in 4th place, chasing Eduardo Mortara. But Mortara's in attack mode at the moment. What's Stoffel Van Dorn been up to? Oh, this was him with just cars everywhere going into the first corner. And there goes Bird to the outside.
Yeah, at this point, Van Dorn's trying to get back in behind Bird so someone else doesn't follow through as well.
And there goes Evans through attack mode, and Dennis almost didn't want to take the lead. He kind of slowed down, and that bunched the whole pack up as they come into turn 7. Dennis does lead. Mortara 2nd. Whoa, big snap for Evans. Goodness me, Gunter's now attacking. Also attacking was Ticktum. And Gunter is going to the inside, and Evans takes evasive maneuvers.
A little bit of touch there between Gunter and the rear of Sebastian Buemi.
Just try to allow Evans back through.
Oh, round! Think it's Vern.
Yeah,
and Andre Lotterer, the 2 Bezzy mates have come together, and here we go down into turn 1. Dennis still in the lead. Bird sends it right to the outside. It's 3 wide through the first corner. The 2 Maserati MSGs are wheel to wheel and side by side as well. So Vern has been sent spinning. Rennie Rast has been given a 5-second time penalty. There's damage to the front of Gunter, but actually that's been there ages. I think he and Mortara collided in the early stages.
Yeah, this 5-second penalty for Rast, that was... but now you've got the energy as well. Look at it, still 4% ahead for Dennis as he's allowed Buemi to go through. So Edo Mortara, who's been in the mix there and is still fighting his way back through, is really going to struggle in energy later on in this race.
Sebastian Buemi takes the lead of the Berlin E-Prix. He's ahead of Jake Dennis, he's ahead of Max Gunter, who's in 2nd place. That's the view back from Sam Bird as Cassidy comes on the attack. Evans is going ahead of Dennis. There's a crunch further back, it's Cassidy. Cassidy takes big damage on the front left, maybe a collision with the back of Bird. That could be the end of his race, Nick Cassidy. Also sending it here is the Porsche of Pascal Wehrlein. He's starting to make some progress as he gets ahead of Dan Ticktum. We're on board with Stoffel Van Dorn, coming down towards turn 1. 11th at the moment, and Gunter's back in the lead of the race. Buemi in 2nd, Evans in 3rd.
Amazing how, here's Dennis's radio.
When Evans takes his 2nd attack, we need to hold position ahead.
Wow, lap 20 of 40, so we are approaching half race distance. Gunter leading, Buemi 2nd. Gunter still has an attack mode remaining. Double yellow at turn 4. And that could just be for some debris. No, it's for Van Dorn.
And there's another car that's just off round the corner.
Van Dorn, oh! Van Dorn's off. There's a few cars.
Safety car, this will be a safety car, I'm sure.
Van Dorn is off. Don't know who else is in there just yet. But Stoffel Van Dorn is one of them. Yeah, and there's a car off to the right. Is that I think that's a Neo. I think that's a Neo to the right-hand side. It's Van Dorn, Ticktum, Hughes and Natto. Van Dorn, Ticktum, Hughes and Natto have all got in a kerfuffle, and the safety car is deployed.
That's an exit of turn 3 and into turn 4, so it'll be good to see a replay of that if we've got it. Because that's taking Stoffel Van Dorn, someone I thought was in a fantastic place today to take the victory and bring himself back up in the championship. He was quite a way behind with for various reasons in the championship, but I thought today was going to be his day.
Lap 21 of 40. Jaguar TCS leading. Mitch Evans first, Sam Bird in fifth. James Barks is the team principal. Sebastian Buemi is bosses there. That's Jake Dennis's boss, Roger Griffiths. And that is Dan Ticktum out of the race. Said to us on the grid, he wasn't nervous exactly. Right, here we go. Van Dorn, we're on board with him. Ticktum is ahead, trying to go around the outside of the Porsches. Trying to pull off a move onto Costa, can't work it out. So Van Dorn thinks, so I'll go around the outside of you. Oh, Ticktum doesn't know he's there, squeezes him into the wall, and they come back across the track.
How did Grass go behind get involved? That's the next one.
He just completely drives me into the wall.
Yeah, that one's fairly straightforward on Ticktum, I think. But yeah, how it all unfolded behind, uncertain, but you can see Van Dorn turning the wheel, but the wheels aren't connected stuff. Valiant effort, though.
Yeah, I think that'll be a discussion with the stewards after the race. And Dan Ticktum standing there contemplating what might have been, got to say, a very good qualifying from him, and also a feisty race up until that particular point.
I wonder if Stoffel will call him a plonker, or whether that's in his particular vocabulary, Stoffel. I'm not sure what his first language is. I think it's French, but... I mean, my lip reading's not great, but...
I don't think there's any words needed, to be honest with you. Difference of opinion.
Yeah.
In that one, but they'll need to see the video, because when you're in the car and you're looking through your visor, you only see your little narrow view, and we've got a much better view of it than either of the drivers at the time.
Ticktum seemed to maybe suggest he got a bit of a oversteer moment. We'll see whether that was true. Here we go, on board with Ticktum. So he's trying to go around the outside of the Porsches. That's his main focus. He tucks in behind Acosta. Oh, he's quite clearly there, isn't he? Oh.
And then you see a car to the right-hand side as well that got caught into it, which I presume was Rennie Rast trying to avoid the scenario, but getting caught up in it in the end.
That's a toughie, really, because that is quite... here we go again. Van Dorn to the outside of Ticktum. In they go. And then as they come back over, that's when they wipe out Nato and Hughes.
Was it Hughes, sorry?
Yeah, I think it was Hughes. But I think that's... Van Dorn looked far enough alongside to be seen by Ticktum from that angle.
No question. You know,
Cassidy pits. Cassidy in the pits.
Why isn't
it Cassidy in the pits?
It could be a puncture because there's a lot of debris on the circuit.
So Nick Cassidy into the pit lane for Envision, and that is going to knock him well down the order and out of the running. After qualifying well and looking like someone who could take advantage in the championship, we're into the second half of the race now, but there you can see on the right-hand side of that shot, Cassidy just leaving the pit lane. He's going to be right at the back. And that's big for the championship. Here's another view of, this is Ticktum at some other point, up at the hairpin.
I think he's getting pushed into the side of the wall here, just rubs the wall with Cassidy. That's Cassidy there, and it was the left rear, so I presume it's a left rear puncture that Cassidy will have picked up.
Yeah, so that'll be where Cassidy's left rear puncture came from. He's been to the pits, changed the tyre, back out on the circuit again. And there it was again, another view of it.
Well, that's the damage to the Maserati of Günther, and that's where I think that came from. This is the problem though, Jack, because they're all trying to go after you, nobody wants to lead. They're kind of tripping over each other. In a flat-out race, there'll be less incidents in a bizarre way, because everybody's focused on just going forward, where now they're driving forward, but looking very much in their mirrors.
Right, safety car will be in this lap. There's the energy on the left-hand side. Evans and Buemi looking strong. Günther and Mortara looking a little weak. Dennis on 57% is the man with the most energy.
He's looking mighty. The only thing for him is he's down in 7th, so he needs to creep his way forward to make sure that Buemi and Evans don't get away, because Günther and Mortara are too low. They're too low, and so they will have to slow down.
So this was Evans going ahead of Sebastian Buemi, and Oh, so it was that when the safety car, I don't know, I didn't see, I'm not sure. Anyway, safety car comes in, Mitch Evans resumes in the lead of the race.
Yes, Buemi, more energy.
Evans being told, Buemi's got more energy. Across the line he comes.
1% more energy than Mitch Evans. Mitch Evans is making the hole in the air that Sebastian Buemi is just going to sit in for a few laps. Pole position for Buemi. He's been quick all weekend, and he's been kind of anonymous since he let Dan Ticktum passed at the first corner.
That 23 of 40 in the Berlin E-Prix, round 7 of the ABB FIA Formula E World Championship. 2 races coming up this weekend, one now and one tomorrow. Myself, Jack Nicholls and Alan McNish with you as Mitch Evans activates his second attack mode. Into the lead goes Sebastian Buemi. Evans slots back in 3rd spot, but he will have more power for the next 1 minute than Max Günther ahead of him.
The question is, he's got to try, I would think, to get past at least one of the Maseratis, which he's been able to do.
That was Bird going ahead of Edo Mortara. So it's now 3rd and 4th for the 2 Jaguars, Evans and Bird. Buemi out in front. Pascal Wehrlein, let's keep an eye on him as well. Hasn't got a huge amount of energy compared to everyone else, but he's 7th, and he's got all his attack mode still to use. Here comes Günther for the lead. Max Günther, not quite close enough. Buemi says you're welcome to the lead if you want it, and Evans says I'll come through as well. There's a bit of contact. Buemi holds 2nd place. That allows Günther to get a little bit of a gap.
Yeah, he's got a bit of a gap, but Evans is now going to run out of his attack mode, so he's at 0 onto the back straight. He'll have the same speed and performance as Buemi with the similar powertrain as him up ahead. As another piece of bodywork falls off one of the cars. Now the 2 Jaguars are trying to go each other. Dennis has to really back it up as well, not to run into the back of Edo Mortara. Bird tried to overtake Evans, thought better of it. Now Dennis has leapfrogged ahead of one of the cars.
You vote for your driver of the race by scanning the QR code on the left-hand side. Long way to go, though, and there's a look from Mortara. Bird trying to take evasive action, manages to keep out of the way of it all. We're on board now with Dennis.
Can I just maybe give a shout out to 9th place, Nico Muller in the AT car, has managed to make his way up into the top 10. Absolutely fantastic performance.
That team has not scored any points yet this season. There's a look to the inside as Buemi gets overtaken by both the Jaguars. And Evans to the inside, Bird round the outside. Jaguars 2 and 3 now, with Buemi down to 4th. Max Günther still in the lead. Fenestraz was trying to get to Costa in the fight for 8th. The championship leader, Pascal Wehrlein, currently 7th.
Andre Lotterer, 5-second penalty as well for his collision when he hit Jean-Eric Verne. And so Andre Lotterer, who's in 13th, making his way back up through after that incident, is going to have 5 seconds added at the end of the race. And 5 seconds here, the way that this is all packed together at the moment, could be first to last, basically. Yeah.
So, Max Günther leading in the blue Maserati MSG. Then it's Evans and Bird in 2nd and 3rd. In the Jaguar Tees, no longer. Evans to the inside into turn 9. And Evans in the lead. Race winner from Sao Paulo, last time out. And Bird follows through as well.
Yeah, the 2 Jaguars want to go at one point. You know, 15 laps to go, plus potential of added laps as well, Jack. So there's still a long way, but I think they're all shadowing each other. No one wants to lead, but then again, no one wants to let a leader get away.
There to the inside goes Buemi as he tries to get past Eduardo Mortara. Still plenty to unfold here. Still right together. But the 2 Jaguars are now in front. Evans ahead of Bird. They've got more energy than the cars behind. Now, can they... Here's a look at Evans taking the lead down into turn 9. Can they work to get... Can they sort of slipstream each other, as it were, around the lap? Or is that going to just use energy for both of them?
No, they can do it. They certainly can do it. And here's Evans' radio.
We have to leave them behind, plan A1. Let's work together. Let's go.
There you go, plan A1, let's work together. As now Sebastian Buemi's realised what's going to happen, and he's now slipped past the Maserati of Günther as well. And so now you've got Evans, Bird, and then Buemi. So it's the 3 Jaguars up ahead, all on the same energy levels. Then Gunter, Mortara are down, then you've got Jake Dennis on 2% more than the leaders. He's in a really good shape, but he needs to move forward at some point soon.
Yeah, he's got to get these 2 Maseratis, and he knows it. Evans in the red, Andretti, full lunge, full send, move made.
Job done there. That was quite a feisty manoeuvre.
Yeah.
I've got to say, Mortara wasn't too keen to let it happen, but he had to in the end of the day.
Evans is up 8 places. Bird started second and is running second. Buemi started on pole, is now dropped down to 3rd position.
I think
everybody's used their attack mode in the top 6 places.
I think you're going to see Evans having another go, and there's Jean-Eric Verne throwing it down the inside. Remember, he got spun out by Andre Lotterer, so in a recovery drive, Jean-Eric Verne's up to 9th place, deposing Nico Müller down into 10th.
Gunter, now the next man to be passed by Dennis. Dennis to the inside, Dennis to 4th place. He wants to join the fight for the lead, and he's pretty much has done now. Lap 27 of 40. It's a Jaguar 1-2 at the moment. New Zealand and Mitch Evans ahead of the British driver Sam Bird, with the Swiss Sebastian Buemi in 3rd place in the Envision machine, and this is Jake Dennis in 4th.
Mega job. We've got more energy than the guys ahead. More energy than the guys ahead.
And that is Jake Dennis's race engineer on the radio, Sean McGill, telling him the news he will be delighted to hear.
Be delighted here, and he used a little bit of that energy to get himself up into 4th place. And on that last lap, he was 1.5 seconds quicker than Evans and Bird up ahead.
Buemi on the attack ahead of Bird. So Sebastian Buemi up into 2nd place. There is the championship leader, Pascal Wehrlein, activating his final attack mode, so he'll be in extra power for the next 3 minutes. As they come flashing down, and Buemi wants the lead. Buemi takes the lead. Oh, the 2 Maseratis are coming together, and Dennis is in big trouble. He's been shoveled out wide. Da Costa's now going to take advantage. So the Maserati team are fuming by the looks, or stressed, one of the 2. There was some kind of emotion there for James Rossiter, because the 2 Maseratis are going side by side, and Dennis has been shuffled back in all of that in the red Andretti.
Well, I think it was because the 2 Maseratis were lunging each other, which then lunged into Jake Dennis, and he had to take avoiding action not to be crushed into the wall. So all the good work that Dennis did has now been undone very, very quickly.
Buemi has taken the lead in the Envision. The 2 Jaguars are now running 2nd and 3rd. Max Gunter is in 4th. Antonio Felix da Costa's in 5th. Dennis went from 4th down to 6th in that one moment. And if you're just tuning in and wondering why this is a fairly odd motor race, it's because the slipstream is so vital here that if you're in the tow, you use less energy. In the same way that in cycling, if you're in the tow of the cyclist in front, you're expending less energy pedaling the wheels. It's exactly the same theory. So no one wants to be in the lead, but you still want to be close enough to the front of the lead to be able to take the lead when there's 2 laps to go. Here's Dennis.
Maseratis losing our race.
Yeah, that would be my assessment as well. The Maserati is losing our race. Da Costa's up into 5th here in the Porsche. He's suddenly got in the mix.
He's still got an attack mode to take, though. Yeah. Antonio Felix da Costa's still got 1 minute left to take on attack mode, and so he'll shuttle back down as Dennis is now making a move forward. He's got to be very decisive, Dennis, now. Just force his way through, and then worry about what energy he has consumed to do it later on.
That 30 of 40. Dennis up into 6th place. We will most likely have added laps. We'll find that out in a few laps' time because of the time under the safety car. We had a few laps on. Buemi leading, Bird 2nd, Evans 3rd. Down towards turn 6. Buemi happy to be in front. Dennis defending there from Eduardo Mortara. He knows he's just made the move and he can't afford to be re-overtaken. That's Sam Bird right behind. Oh, the car wobbling a little as he comes through, and Bird goes to the lead. Sam Bird to the inside. Into the lead of the Berlin E-Prix at Templehof. Da Costa might get fed into the wall here. It's close between he and Gunter, but he's managed to make it stick. Da Costa, who we're on board with here, up into 4th position now in the Tag Heuer Porsche.
He's done very, very well, Antonio Felix da Costa, to get up into this position. And I think he's looking strong. However, it's not necessarily as if I think he's fighting for the podium. I think he's fighting for the top 6, so definitely.
Oh, Dennis is still squabbling with Günther. This is Dennis's race slipping away here because Günther's all more than happy to fight back.
He is, but Günther's already struggling on energy in comparison to the ones up ahead. So for Günther, the fight is maybe for 4th or 5th. And right now, he doesn't really care that Dennis has got more energy. And the more that Dennis fights with Günther, the more energy he consumes and less his advantage gets away.
Super late on the brakes. Dennis, no. Dennis! Dennis has thrown it into the barriers. How he didn't wipe out everybody else, I do not know. But Dennis, a menace down at turn 6.
Yeah.
And that is his race done, if it wasn't done already.
What is that swerving under braking, man?
Well, Dennis complaining of the swerving under braking. Günther does love a late defense, there's no denying that. And into the pits here, who's this? Was it Da Costa? Did he get tagged?
Da Costa's got tagged, yeah, and he's now into the pits. So Da Costa, who had fantastic drive up till then, has got some damage and into the pits, and that's him out of this race.
So Da Costa, who was having such a strong climb up the field, is now in the pits and out of the running. Dennis is going very, very slowly, says he's got no brakes.
Yeah, he's got some damage as well at the back, so he's got to now cruise around and try and get off the circuit at a safe point.
Yeah, so up at the front then, Sam Bird is leading, and don't forget, so now the 2nd place man in the championship, Jake Dennis, is not going to score for the 4th race in a row. The 3rd place man in the championship, Nick Cassidy, is down in 12th place. Da Costa, the 5th place man in the championship, is not going to score. The 4th place man in the championship, Jean-Eric Verne, is there in 4th position. The frustration for Antonio Felix Da Costa. And Verline, meanwhile, the championship leader, is Thomas Loudenbach, sort of reassuring Da Costa or commiserating, whatever you want to call it. But suddenly things have fallen into place for Verline again. He's just kept going, and he's going to rack up 10 points if he finishes 5th.
Yeah, but that's how you win championships. On your bad qualifying days, you just keep it tidy. And here we see, and yeah, there is a bit of a late move. But then again, Dennis releases the brake to make sure he goes down the inside, and there's no grip at that point of the circuit. That's the only car that's been there probably for the last 3 years, because no one's actually ventured onto it. And ultimately, he just lost the rear, went in too quick and lost the rear. Here's Da Costa's view. Yeah.
Clobbered. Must have done the suspension as well on that front. Yeah, you can see the left hand is down on the steering wheel and the car's broken instantly.
Yeah, wow. There's nothing Da Costa could have done there.
Here he comes. Oh, he took evasive action, Da Costa, and it so nearly worked out. But it didn't.
I think there's a lot of frustration there from Jake Dennis in the fact that he was getting shuttled back, my race is going, and then suddenly when the opportunity did open up, took maybe a little bit too much of a lunge.
So lap 33 of 40. Sam Bird is leading the race for Jaguar as everybody else sort of falls by the wayside. Buemi is in 2nd in the Envision. 3rd is Mitch Evans in the other Jaguar. Max Günther is 4th. Verline is 5th. Are we going to see Verline join this fight at the front? That's going to be the question. The championship leader, Lotter, has just got ahead of Mortara, so Lotter is having a good race.
He's got a 5-second penalty though because of his collision with Verne earlier on in the event. So
well, he's still having a good race, but it's not going to come to anything.
He is. If he takes the 5 seconds now, he'll be down in 14th place.
Everybody has used their attack modes, bar Verline. So that man there, Pascal Verline, has an attack mode remaining. But Bird at the moment looking fairly happy and comfortable out in front, but it's when to go. That's the challenge in Formula E, is when to go. Because Bird here, he's still got the same energy as Buemi and Evans, so he's doing all right. There's Dennis.
Because this man had more energy, and now he's out of the race.
He's just been sitting in the car for a couple of minutes since he got back to the pit lane.
He's got to collect his thoughts in the best places when you're on your own. As we see Buemi having a little bit look down the inside of Sam Bird into the first corner. Not really a full attack, just a kind of half look. And these three, I think, will now start to pull away from Günther in 4th position because they've got more energy and they've got more speed in general. Günther's been hanging on by using more energy.
Now we saw the deltas there on the left-hand side, the differences. Bird has almost 1% less energy than Mitch Evans. So it's getting to the point now for Bird where does he want to have that much of a deficit, but also are we running out of time in this race that it doesn't actually become an issue? On board with Sebastian Buemi, running in second place, chasing down Sam Bird, round 7 of the championship. Bird, Buemi and Evans, the top 3.
I'll tell you one driver I wouldn't rule out at this moment in time is 8th place Jean-Eric Vergne. I'm not saying to win this race, but to be in the top 4 or 5 at the end of it.
Across the line we go. Lap 36 of 40, Buemi attacks. Sebastian Buemi takes the lead of the Berlin E-Prix. Gets ahead of Sam Bird. And now it's Jaguar's 2nd and 3rd. Evans has made 6 places in this race. Wehrlein has made 10. Great drive this from Pascal Wehrlein.
It's been a very clean and tidy drive by him. Not really done very much, but he's picked off places when other people have also made mistakes, crashed into each other, and ultimately got himself in a good place. Still got one attack mode to take though.
So, nice job. Maximum focus on efficiency and minimum turn 7.
So that's Connor Somerville, the race engineer of Buemi, saying, right, we've just got to be efficient. Now we're out in front. The Jaguars look like they're not exactly squabbling, but there's a little nose to the inside from Evans coming down into turn 6.
Yeah, well, Evans knows that from a championship point of view, he's got to finish ahead of Bird, because if he finishes behind him, that expands the point. And there is also, at the end of the day, only one of the Jaguars that can win the championship. And clearly both of them want to do it. Both have got the capability and the car to be able to do it, I think, this year.
Remember when Nick Cassidy was at the back of the field and wasn't going to score any points?
The man in 9th, you mean?
What is this? What is this series? I just love it. Lap 37 of 40. Buemi, Bird, Evans, Gunter, Wehrlein, the top 5. And we've had 8 different leaders in this race, which is a new Formula E record, which will probably get beaten tomorrow.
I'm just going to reverse my point on Jean-Eric Vergne because his energy levels are pretty low at this moment in time.
Okay, Seb, if you cannot hit your targets, be smart. We have to hit targets.
So we have to hit our target. Be smart means if the Jaguars want to take the lead, the Jaguars can take the lead.
Yeah, the energy target is so important, and you've just got to slow down to make sure you hit it. Even if you feel you can drive quicker, you've got to just make sure you hit those targets, because then it multiplies itself the later on you get in the race.
Added laps-wise, we've got another 3, an additional 3. So 6 laps to go as of now.
And there's a huge gap, you saw there just on the cameras, they're coming into the first corner between Cassidy and Muller, so the top 5 are kind of all nearly in one camera shot. Then after that, big drop back to Muller, who's in 10th place. 1 point for that would be an absolute party central tonight in that garage, I'm sure.
Onto the brakes into turn 6, Buemi leading. Bird right behind him. We're on board with the British driver now in the Jaguar TCS car.
It's nice and easy and tidy. You know, Sam's been very quick and very consistent, also confident this weekend.
Yeah, confident. I tend to not really like calling people confidence drivers because it makes them sort of sound, you know, like not mentally robust or something like that.
What's the situation? Can I attack or not?
Well, Evans asking, can I attack or not? The answer is the thing we need to know. And down towards turn 1 again. But yeah, Bird isn't, I wouldn't call him a confidence driver exactly, but when he's in the mood, he's in the mood. And he has been in the mood all weekend. Here's Evans.
Let's make Sam aware. I'm feeling good. Yes, Sam knows.
So Evans is feeling good and he's got more energy than Bird, but only a fraction more. Gunter is still lurking there in 4th position. Oh, here we go, down towards turn 6, and Buemi's defending. He was told to be smart, and Bird's going to get the cut back. Is he towards 7? No.
Defending again there. Sebastian Buemi defending quite heavily into 6 and also into 7. Obviously doesn't want to lose the lead of this race, and into 9. That gives, oh, fantastic for Evans. Easy run round the outside of Sam Bird.
But Bird and Evans are going to go wheel to wheel up towards turn 10. Evans is through. The Jaguars switch places. Bird tries to get back through now. He'll get good drive out of the final corner. This is allowing Gunter into the fight as well. Gunter's not scored any points this season. He's running in fourth. We're on board with Bird. Evans sends it.
Yeah, very, very clear statement there, but Gunter also has recovered a lot of the energy as well. He's only 1% down now on the cars up ahead of him, so he's done a very good job as Evans has taken 2 cars in 3 corners. Now he's in the lead, now he's in the position. He said, can I attack? I feel better, and clearly he's just made his presence. Now I'm going to do it, whatever happens.
So we have got 3 laps to go at the end of this one. We're about to add into the added laps in the Berlin E-Prix. Mitch Evans has taken the lead from Buemi. Buemi has got Bird right behind him. And Wehrlein has just dropped down to 9th place because he's just activated his attack mode. So that will cost the championship leader points. We'll see how much he can climb back up the order. But Bird will be frustrated here because Evans got him, then got Buemi, and has now got the jump, really, Mitch Evans.
Yeah, he's got the jump and he's got away, but look at Cassidy. He's catching up behind. Admittedly, he's a few seconds off the lead, but I think Nick Cassidy is going to pull some big points out of this weekend as well.
And he's ahead of Wehrlein, so that would chip away at Wehrlein's championship lead as well from 2nd to 1st. Lap 41 and 43, the added laps have been added.
Just a reminder, Andre Lauter there in 5th place in the red car. He's got a 5-second penalty added at the end of the race, so he's not really in the battle, even though I'm sure he's not going to give up the position.
No, exactly. He's 7/10 back from Gunter Lotterer, and the higher up the order he finishes, the better his result is.
Yeah, pulls him back into the area around about Pascal Wehrlein, actually, if you add the 5 seconds now.
So there's the energy remaining. Evans in the lead has only Bird and Gunter have a little more. So Bird has a little more than Buemi, but he's not quite able to be close enough. Whoa, and he's so late on the brakes into 9. Overdriving a little now, Bird?
Yeah, he needs to get past Buemi if he's going to have a chance of having an attack on Evans. There's only 2 laps at the end of this one. And he's got to make that move. It's very decisive by Evans into the first corner when he overtook Buemi. There was no question he was coming through. And that's exactly what Sam Bird's got to do.
So, Evans leading, Buemi 2nd, Bird 3rd, the top 3 separated by just 1.3 seconds with 2 laps to go. Gunter is sitting here in 4th position. He can see a podium up ahead of him. How aggressive is he going to get? How aggressive is Bird going to get in that fight for 2nd place? Because he was happy to finish 3rd with Evans winning last time out in Sao Paulo. Not sure he'll be quite as satisfied this time around.
Yeah, but you know for sure Buemi's going to defend like anything on this 2nd to last lap and also in the final lap, and that's allowing Evans just to eke away, and also without using any more energy than the cars behind him that are scrapping.
Bird can't quite get it done. I think we're into the stage now of the race where actually the energy has become irrelevant. We're flat out now. So if Bird wants to make the overtake on Buemi, it's got to be a proper move. And will it be this time? The final run down towards the first corner.
Slightly more energy than set.
Here is Wehrlein, who's running in 9th place. But here comes Bird. We're on the final lap, and he's still not able to get the move made on Sebastian Buemi. Jaguar desperately would love a 1-2. At the moment, it's a 1-3 in the same order as Sao Paulo 3 weeks ago. But Bird is going to get the drive out here.
Yeah, Evans has now got away, and that means that basically there's 2 more corners for Sam Bird to be able to get it done. This is one of them, and he's going round the outside and got it done.
But
Will he
can
be able
he
to get it stopped?
Kind of. Buemi's coming back at him. It was a huge send from Bird to the outside, and he's done it. Sam Bird up into 2nd place. Wonderful, brave move around the outside at turn 6. And now Gunter fancies a look on Buemi into turn 9. Goes to the outside, can't pull it off. But up at the front, into the final corner, comes Mitch Evans. Oh, Buemi, he's not got enough energy, and Gunter gets him, there's contact. And they're still going to be together. But it's Mitch Evans. Wins 2 in a row. Victory in Berlin. A 1-2 for Jaguar. Gunter gets 3rd at the line. Buemi 4th, Cassidy's 5th, and Wehrlein at the line gets 6th. Got 2 places right at the end, Pascal Wehrlein.
My goodness. Andre Lotterer shuffles down into 8th place. 7th is Jean-Eric Verne. Mortara in 9th, and then Oliver Rowland taking a point after a really difficult weekend in 10th. But it was all about the Jaguar guys here. 1-2.
Jaguar back! Jaguar back!
It's their first 1-2. They've been close at the last one, didn't quite make it, and now they're joining the 1-2 club.
Huge celebrations in the Jaguar garage. Absolutely remarkable stuff. And Mitch Evans making his way in on the in-lap now. A really, really strong drive from Evans. The race winner in Berlin, a track that he has not enjoyed every time he's come here in the past, but a lot of enjoyment today, I would have thought. Right, we'll try and speak to Mitch Evans as he's coming around on his in-lap now after a superb performance.
As a reminder, car 9.
And Scott Elkins just giving a bit of a message. Mitch, it's Jack, you're live on TV. What a drive, 2 wins in a row. Phenomenal.
I'm live, I better not swear then. Yeah, wow. This one's, I mean, last race was special, this one's extra special. Jaguar 1-2, yeah, speechless. It's coming back to us, should keep working hard. Just a huge thanks to everyone in the team. This is down to them, so yeah, let's enjoy this one. This doesn't happen often.
Yeah, absolutely. Good luck again tomorrow. So Mitch Evans taking the victory. Let's go down and hear from James Barclay. Karun?
James Barclay, James, I can hear the team screaming in the background. Well deserved. There were 23 lead changes, a Formula E record in that race, but your guys came out at the end.
Yeah, I mean, that's an emotional moment, to be honest. A 1-2 is something we've really pushed for, so I'm so proud of everyone. It's, you know, just a huge team effort, you know, and that race was jeopardy. I mean, at one point I looked, there's 40 overtakes already, and it was not even a third of the way through the race, you know, and so, yeah, honestly, it really felt like it could go either way, early stages, but yeah, we kept our heads cool. Drivers just executed the race brilliantly with their engineering team, so honestly, hugely proud of everyone. It's a really deserved result, and glad we finally got that first 1-2.
Talk to me about the calls from the pits, because nobody wanted to lead that race. It was pretty clear that there was lots of gamesmanship going on there. But at what point did you say to Mitch to go? Because Sam was in the lead for a period of time. But clearly, did Mitch make a decision to go, or did you guys make that call?
No, clearly working together as a team and working out the best time to go. It was very difficult to kind of time it just right as well. So we're just waiting for what we felt the right moment. We could tell Mitch was actually in a really strong position. He felt positive, as did Sam. But you know, at one point we just knew Mitch, and we could sense he was slightly up on energy because he'd been sat in third for a while. And yeah, when the timing was right, we thought, let's try and see if we can make that break now. And it worked. It was, but what a race. I mean, strategically, that was incredibly close to success or being off the podium.
All right, listen, I'll let you get to the podium. Well done. Cheers.
Very happy, James Barclay. Jaguar taking the victory. That's what it means for the team. Their first 1-2, and they will be on the podium here in Berlin in just a couple of minutes' time after securing first and second. And I think the fans have had a nice time, I think, Alan. I think I would have enjoyed it if I was in the grandstands. I enjoyed it sitting here, but...
Well, I tell you, in the grandstands you would be shocked if you didn't have any monitor, because every time they came past you, it would be like a complete shuffling of the order. It was so difficult to keep up with, and we've got the timing monitors in front of us as well. But what a race. And to be honest with you, I think actually a deserved podium here. Gunther, I think, was very robust in his driving, without doubt, but ultimately was able to gain the energy back that he lost at the beginning. And for Evans and Bird, they looked the dominant force once you had Stoffel van Dorn out of the way.
So there are the Jaguars back in the pit lane. The first 1-2 in Formula E history for Jaguar. A couple of other teams have had it. I think Renault had a 1-2 at some point. Diesta Cheetah have had a 1-2, and I can't remember any others.
Thank you, Joe.
Alan McNish, as team principal of Audi, had a 1-2. Evans, driver of the race, on 21%. I'll be honest with you, I'm a little bit worried. I'm a little bit worried that when I spoke to Evans on the radio, it meant he didn't go to the right place where the podium is. I could be wrong, but I'm a little bit worried that happened. If so, I'm very apologetic. But we'll see. The fans now leaving the grandstands because they can all then make their way to the podium. And what a strong performance from Evans. What do you think Sam Bird's going to be feeling? He'll look happy and positive, but yeah, I think there'll be some level of frustration as he hauls himself out of the car. Sam Bird. Evans gets out as well. There's Sergio Sede Cambra making his way. What a Berlin E-Prix race, and the two Jaguar teammates embracing each other. I was wondering, Alan McNish, whether Sam Bird would be frustrated, disappointed. Feels like he should have won that race, but a big hug between the teammates.
Yeah,
says it's all right.
It's a big team day, that's for sure. And yes, I'm sure Sam will be slightly disappointed because he had the pace and capability to get a victory. After how the beginning of the season went for him, actually the last two races have really propelled him into a positive point. So I think he'll be out tomorrow, and you know, within half an hour after spraying a bit of champagne on the podium, he'll be thinking about tomorrow's race, tomorrow's qualifying, and taking his first victory of the season.
Here's the championship. Pascal Wehrlein on the top on 94 points. Cassidy second on 71. Verne is third on 66. Evans up into fourth on 64. Dennis is now fifth on 62. Bird on 62 as well. So there's a 4-point swing between the two Jaguar drivers. So still 30 points Wehrlein's advantage over Evans, because he still managed to pull a result out. Pascal Wehrlein, 6th place.
Yeah, but as I said in the race, that's how you win a championship, on your bad days, still pulling the best of it out. And I have to say, that was a really good, quiet drive by Pascal Wehrlein. I'm very sure that it was drummed into the drivers before the race in that Porsche pit exactly what their job was to do. Try and get into the top 10 and wait for all the other things to ensue around and about them, which he did extremely well.
Hugs all around from Evans and his team. High five, or sort of a pat with Phil Ingram there in the cap. That's Sam Bird's race engineer. And all of the mechanics, apologies for that, from that language, if you heard it. Bird trying to lift Evans up. He's just showing off his squats, really, isn't he, Bird?
Yeah, well, that's how you strain your back at my age.
If you ever ask Sam Bird how much can you bench, he'll say a kiwi, a small kiwi.
I took my front wing off.
Yeah, sorry about the language again, with Cassidy there and Evans.
Yeah, the point about being a mess is the fact that everybody was sort of looking at each other and trying to let someone else lead, and it was sort of concertina in the grid, and there's so many actions, so many overtakes, and so much action that I'm sure a lot of people will go to bed with a bit of a annoyed headache tonight. Dan Ticktum being one of them. Obviously Stoffel van Dorn, who I thought was in a really good place today, but ultimately Stoffel's got to come back and try and fight again tomorrow. That's the thing about this, with a double header. You know, you can win, and tomorrow you can be at the back. You can be at the back today, and tomorrow you can be on the podium. It just swings so quickly, one way from you and one way against you.
Yeah. So Mitch Evans now making his way to the podium.
Actually, to be honest, I think you are right. I think you diverted his attention and they drove into the pit lane, and they should have followed and then gone on to the podium, because the podium's on the other side of the circuit.
Yeah, no, I genuinely think I actually feel really terrible. I feel really terrible right now. But I'm hoping, you know, it's not, you know, it can't. I don't know, I pushed the button and then Scott Elkins was talking, and then I thought he'd stopped talking. So I spoke to Mitch. I feel really bad. Anyway, they're nearly there. They've just got to go across the circuit here. So while we wait for the podium, let's head down to Karun, who is in the pit lane studio and can give us some insight, like he always does. Karun.
I'm cursed, yeah, I thought I was. But
Thank you, Jack. We had a new Formula E record with 23 lead changes in that race. But let's take a look at the winning move here. This was Mitch Evans on lap 39. He was sitting in third place behind his teammate Sam Bird and Sebastian Buemi up ahead. And we can see initially both Sebastian and Sam go to the inside. And Mitch sees the gap open up. If we actually wind it back here, you can see, I reckon, basically, Sebastian's gone to defend rightly against Sam. And at that point, the gap's opened up around the outside. Mitch has carried the momentum on the clean side of the circuit. He's found the grip, and he's carried that momentum around the outside of his teammate there. Sam obviously gives him good respect, good racing room there between the two teammates, and Mitch up into second place. He gets the toe. Sebastian slightly defends the inside line there, which compromises his run coming onto the main straight. Mitch then in the toe, heading down start-finish straight. Now at this point, we're starting the final lap, of course. Sebastian goes for the inside line, but as the pit wall, basically there, you can see the pit wall ends at that point, and then Mitch cuts across to the inside, sees the gap, and then just squeezes through. Very fair driving from both drivers there. Manages to get the car stop and get it into the apex. So that was the winning move. A lap later, Sam Bird sealed the 1-2 for the Jaguar team. Heading down there, Sebastian had to back off quite early, I think, to recover energy. And in the end, it was quite a straightforward move for Sam. Went a little bit deep, and at that point, I thought it was a bit touch and go, but he managed to carry enough momentum up to the next left-hander and seal a 1-2 for Jaguar.
Thank you, Karun. Fascinating stuff, and that's how it's done, basically. If you are Mitch Evans, another victory for him in the ABB FIA Formula E World Championship. That is his 8th win in the series, and there's a big Sam Bird face. Not life-size, that's for sure. I've seen that around quite a lot this weekend. But we're about to be getting into the podium presentation in just a couple of moments' time, and we'll be hearing from our top 3 as well in just a couple of moments. Great to see the amount of fans that are here, and it's an event that's really grown and grown. It's sort of the kind of proof that the more and more and more races you have somewhere, the bigger it grows. So let's go down and hear from the race winner, Mitch Evans and Sam Bird. There with Nikki.
Mitch Evans for Jaguar TCS Racing. Just describe the moment right now. How does it feel to have another win, back-to-back wins, and your teammate Sam Bird on the podium with you?
Yeah, I was saying on the in-lap, you know, the last race was special, having us both on the podium, and also with Nick or Jaguar powertrains on the podium. But this one is extra special because it's a 1-2 for the team, and just a really hard race to manage again. But yeah, it got a bit chaotic out there, but I wasn't expecting a victory in this place. This place has haunted me for many years. So yeah, just super happy to finally get a second win, but here is it was unexpected.
And a really historic moment, the first 1-2 for Jaguar TCS Racing.
Yeah, it's just a full credit to everyone. You know, Sam drove really well. He's been quick all day, and yeah, I was kind of surprised to get, you know, in the front bunch so early. But there's a lot of games playing out there, and it was kind of hard to manage. But anyway, we got it done. Let's get him across.
Yeah, exactly. Let's get Sam Bird. Massive round of applause for Mitch Evans and Sam Bird. A 1-2 for Jaguar TCS Racing. Sam, that was a bold, brave move at the end there.
Yeah, firstly, wow, what a crowd. Thank you, everybody, for turning out to watch Formula E. It's so great to see so many people here and enjoying the race in the sunshine. So thank you so much, everybody. What a race, really good fun. It was difficult to manage the race, actually. Like the energy consumption is different when you lead compared to when you're behind. You don't really want to lead for too long. Seb, Mitch, loads of people drove a great race, but to see myself and Mitch come out on top is amazing.
A very special day. Go and enjoy some celebrations, and let's hope for a repeat performance tomorrow.
The two Jaguar drivers then having a, you know, good camaraderie. And Mitch Evans, well, normally with these little snippets that we play after, it's to tell the story of the winner's race. We haven't got long enough. We'd have to replay the whole race. But there was one of the overtakes. Here was another one of the overtakes when he was side by side with Bird. That was a good one, actually. Here was another one. That was for the lead, I think. Well, it was for the lead, but was that the final move for the lead? Yeah, I think it was.
But I think the message for me was the decisiveness of those moves. He made everyone stick when it mattered. You know, there was no question about it. But ultimately, one person that made it stick right at the beginning, Dan ticked him right round the outside.
Yeah, and Sam Bird got involved in the fight as well. And Tictum activated his attack mode. That was the first time a Jaguar hit the front, but it wouldn't be the last time, as Bird made it past Buemi into the lead, and then it was that final move on Buemi around the outside at turn 6. This one, it was absolutely majestic from Sam Bird.
Well, Oliver, what a race. That's all I can say. What a race. I'm still out of breath. I'm absolutely gobsmacked. More than 20 different overtakes by 8 or 9 different leaders of this race.
That was incredible. Absolutely wild race. Very similar to Sao Paulo. We see drivers, you know, running in the lead, and then all of a sudden they want to drop back because the slipstream effect is so powerful with efficiency.
It was absolutely insane. We are going to talk in depth about the Jaguar TCS racing team, Sam Bird and of course Mitch Evans, but we should talk about the man that's taking the podium now, third place, Maximilian Gunter. The Maserati MSG team have had a shocking season so far, and that's the honest truth.
Yes, and a fantastic drive by him. Can't take that away from them. They had solid pace, solid efficiency in this race, and we've seen them have good qualifying and a good race car throughout the season. It's just they've had bad luck. Eduardo Mortara, I believe, falling out of the top 10. So yeah, shame that they didn't get double points. That was clearly on the cards for them today. But yeah, very good drive from Max. I'm curious to see a closer look of the incident with Jake Dennis. You know, I don't want to play the stewards here, but you know, there could be an issue there later on.
All right, well, as we see now, Sam Bird is going to take to the podium. A great race for Sam. The first 1 and 2 for Jaguar TCS Racing. Congratulations to them. And of course, James Barkley, their team principal. They all work extremely hard for this team to be successful. And Sam Bird is one of the veterans of Formula E. Another podium for him. Another second place. I mean, absolutely brilliant. But for this Jaguar team to do so well in Sao Paulo last time out and bring that momentum here to Berlin, outstanding.
Yeah, we talk about momentum and confidence all the time in motorsport. And yeah, that's clearly what they have at the moment. Whoa, look out for the bee.
Huge
allergic.
No.
Yeah, fantastic result by Jaguar. Taking that momentum after Sao Paulo. They really struggled in the beginning of the season with reliability, with bad luck. Obviously, they had that famous clash in India, I believe it was. And we saw them, they were playing nicely during that race. I think they learned.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, here's our winner of round 7 of the ABB FIA Formula E World Championship. The Kiwi, Mitch Evans, takes to the podium. Absolutely fantastic performance from him. Back-to-back victories, obviously taking that victory that he had in Sao Paulo and bringing it here to Templehof Airport. Let's go back to Jack in the booth. Big guy.
Thank you, slightly bigger guy. Mitch Evans making his way up onto the top step. The New Zealand flag that he will drape around his shoulders. He's won double headers before. He's won 2 in a row before in Rome. I don't think we've ever had a double header win after a previous win, but that's a bit of a niche stat that I should probably know the answer to somewhere. But Mitch Evans up onto the top step. Absolutely remarkable win. Only 2 drivers have had 3 consecutive wins, Buemi and Da Costa. Can Evans do that tomorrow? The New Zealander on the top step. And now it will be the British national anthem for the Jaguar TCS racing team after a really, really phenomenal performance. A Jaguar 1-2. So the British national anthem then for Jaguar. And now the trophies will be presented. Huge crowd under the roof in Berlin. Sang-Hoon Lee, the COO and president of Hankook Tires Europe, hands over the trophy to the Jaguar representative. A 1-2 for the Jaguar team. So that's 4 podiums. Well, both drivers have been on the podium the last 2 races. Carsten Schulze, president of technical services at the ADAC, the German Motorsport Federation, essentially, hands the trophy to Max Günther. I don't think I've even said Max Günther during the course of this, but he finished in 3rd place, nipped it at the line from Sebastian Buemi, and it was absolutely impressive from Günther. First points of the season, Günther.
Yeah, they've struggled as a team. They've not really scored any. Both the cars were pretty quick, certainly in the race.
And it's his home race as well, Max Günther.
But
Sam Bird receives his 2nd place trophy from Martin Bierod, president of the electrification business of ABB. Mark Williams, the vice president of SABIC Europe, is going to be the man to hand over the winning trophy to Mitch Evans on the top step. Another win for Evans. Pascal Wehrlein still leads the championship. His advantage has only dropped by 1 point after today, despite starting 15th on the grid and everyone else starting at the front. He still came through to do a superb job. But I think more people have joined that chasing pack. One of them, undoubtedly, after 2 race wins in a row, is Mitch Evans. Now, they don't want to go too wild because they have to wear these suits again tomorrow, don't they?
No. You go wild in this one. Every time you have a victory, you should celebrate it. Every time as a team you have a 1-2, you should definitely celebrate it because they don't come along very often and you've got to take advantage of it when you can. However,
how hard is it to refocus for tomorrow now, or is it easy?
No, you basically get back and then after your debrief, once you've done the debrief, to look to see what was good, what was bad, what you need to improve for tomorrow, because there's always something to improve. And remember, all the other teams are already in that debrief now. Then you can get your head back around it, refocus. But right now, it's all about these two, and it's all about the smiles, and deservedly so.
Yep, lots to improve on for tomorrow for all the teams and drivers, no doubt, and of course, lots to improve on tomorrow for Vernon Kay.
Behave yourself, Jack Nichols. Come on, get a grip, son. Yeah, they're right, and Alan's right. Quick debrief, then refocus, and then we go again tomorrow. But let's stay in the moment here in front of the podium. The celebrations are continuing. I'm sure they will for the Jag boys and Maximilian, of course. Let's talk about that race, because there's only a couple of words that can describe it. Hectic and crazy.
I've never seen a Formula E race like that. That was unbelievable. Yeah, so many passes for the lead, a lot of contact It was mainly from cars just being off strategy, freestyling, as we say, coasting a lot into the corners behind cars in front, trying to play the long game. And that's when you have that accordion effect. You have cars, running into each other, smashing wings off the car. Some part sales today, definitely. Unfortunately for our championship winner last year, Stoffel van Dorn, I saw a stat that was his first DNF since 2021, I believe.
Wow, that's a good shift from the boy. It really is.
It was.
Let's think about Dan Ticktum. That start from him was absolutely awesome. It's the best way to describe it. Sent it round the outside, ended up in first, and I think he was as shocked as we were.
Yeah, you could tell right away that he was excited to be in front, then realized, wait, this isn't the game I should be playing. I know that I don't have an efficient car. I should probably drop back and get into the slipstream of these cars behind me. And that's eventually what he did. Although his car still wasn't efficient enough, kept falling back, and then had that crash with Stoffel van Dorn, as we said.
Another Brit that we spoke to at the start of the race was Jake Dennis in the Andretti, your former teammate. He's going to be devastated and absolutely gutted because he wanted to come into this race and refocus and hopefully get some points on the board. He slipped now from second in the championship down to fifth. A tough race for Jake.
Yeah, watching the replay here, making some very decisive moves, just trying to stay within the top 5. I mean, that's the idea here. He knows that he has an extremely efficient car, and here's that pass, or what was supposed to be a pass on Max Gunther.
This is the wider angle. I mean, no one else's fault but his own. Really?
Yeah, I'd have to see it again. It's difficult when you're overtaking a car in that corner. It's such a heavy braking zone. You're focused on not trying to hit the defending car in front of you, and then you realize you've missed your braking point.
Yeah.
And that's a very dangerous situation. We're lucky that he didn't hit Da Costa head on.
But if that was in Fast and Furious episode 57, you'd be really proud of that slide into that turn.
Yeah, there would have been fire, sparks,
exactly,
confetti, all of it.
Exactly. But let's refocus on the top of the table. Pascal Wehrlein is still there. And it does become a cliche at times that we say constantly that in Formula E, you just have to be consistent. You've just got to keep putting points on the board. So let's go over to the two fellas who came first and second. Nicky Shields is with Mitch Evans and Sam Bird.
Well, sorry to break up the party, guys. I know you were enjoying the celebrations there on the podium. Would you say this is a bit of a race let's try that again. A championship-defining race, because you now are properly in the hunt again.
I guess we'll find out, but I guess, look, every race is worth the same amount of points, and I needed a couple of good races, and we've exactly got that. But look, the championship's still long, but the main thing is we're back in the hunt. Both of us are right there, and it's a clear target for the rest of the year is to just keep building what we got and race it out to the end.
You worked really well together in today's race as well. Was there a clearly defined strategy before that you were going to help each other out?
Yeah, it works so nicely between myself and Mitch. It's pretty seamless. We did have a plan. Our plans were different at the beginning of the race, but we were told if this does happen, then this is how it would play out. And yeah, it was really good. Well executed by the team.
Sam, I feel like you've been oozing positivity all weekend. When we started, I think we had a chat on Thursday. You were positive. This morning, there was a lot of positivity after qualifying. Has that really played into today's outcome?
I've been positive all year, Nikki, to be honest.
Have you, though? Have you? Are you sure about that?
Maybe not India.
Yeah, lap 10 India, I wasn't so positive. And maybe qualifying in South Africa, maybe not. But the rest of the time, I felt really great. Jaguar have given us both an awesome car.
Excellent, and bring it on in Monaco. See you on the yacht, boys. Yeah. All right, back to you, Vernon.
Yeah, thanks very much, Nicky. What a day. What an absolute day. And you know what? We're going to have to do it all over again tomorrow.
Fantastic.
However, I have some news. Apparently, the rain might arrive tomorrow, which could really, really put a cat amongst the pigeons.
New tires this year. They haven't been tested in the rain yet, so what better way to do it on race day?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's going to be really good. Hey, listen, if you've enjoyed today, then make sure you tune in again. Same time, same place tomorrow as we go green again for round 8 live from Berlin. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great Saturday night.
Formula E returns to its longest-serving race circuit. And we go green in Berlin. Ticktum's on the attack. Ticktum leads from 4th on the grid. Van Dorn is now in the lead. Evans sends it. Huge send from Bird to the outside. Svitch Evans wins 2 in a row.